So I have a person class that takes in a first name, last name, and age. And I have two methods. First, I have a getStats method that will return a string. And the string that's returned consists of the first name, last name, and age properties. And then I have an updateAge method, which takes in a new age, which is a number, and returns a number. And it updates this.age with the new age. Then I created an instance of the class called John and added the parameters John Smith and 32 for the age. And to test out the data, I console log the John.firstName property. Then I console log the John.getStats method. And then I call the updateAge method and pass in 33 for the new age. And finally, I call the getStats method again to see the new data. So if I run the code, then we'll see John, then we see John Smith is 32 years old, and then we see John Smith is 33 years old. What I like to do is update the methods that I have inside of this class so that I can call them as properties just like I did on line 26 with the first name property. Since this method is simply returning some data for me, I can use get. And then I'll go down, and where I use the getStats method, I'll just take away the parentheses. And now I can call that method as a property. So I'll clear out the console and rerun my code, and everything still works as before. The next thing I want to do is update the updateAge method. So since this method takes in a parameter and updates some data inside of our class, then for this method I'll use set. And now, where I'm calling the updateAge method, instead of calling it as a method, what I'll do is take away the parentheses, and after updateAge I'll add an equal sign and then pass in the number. And now I'll rerun the code, and everything still works as expected. So in review, we learned how to take our object or class methods and convert them to getters and setters depending on whether we are returning information or updating information. And the result is that we can access our methods as properties now inside of our objects and classes, which allows us to have a cleaner syntax. And keep in mind, this is optional. This is not something that you would necessarily want to do in all of your coding, but for certain situations where you would prefer to have the cleaner syntax, this is something that you can do.